Hello and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another one of darling boys. I'm over at WhatCulture in Las Vegas. Here to review tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also AEW Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a really good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review AEW Dynamite. Michael, what a show! But unfortunately, we haven't got time to talk about NXT. But we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite. Also, a very good show as well, I should say.
Yeah, we are obviously here in Las Vegas. It's WrestleMania season, and yet tonight, as we previewed a little bit, Dynamite is going to try and steal some of the attention, some of the headlines. I will say that one of the matches I am already scared to talk about because I feel like people online would have loved it more than I did, but one of them might be my favourite AEW match of the year in a room full of distractions, Las Vegas-based distractions. My eyes were glued to, well, we'll be real about this, a laptop screen because we're going to get the TV to put TBS on for us, but my eyes were absolutely glued to one match in particular in spite of Vegas being everywhere around me. It's magic, isn't it? It's absolutely magic.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so great being here. But let's dive straight into AEW Dynamite because the show opened, ladies' night out the window, with a women's match.
Hang on. Just be clear on this. Sidgwick, we did that. I know, he's not here now, and we wish he could be, but, he did predict it, did he not? Is that not... Where do you stand on this?
Well, he did say that he thought this should open at least, and it did. And we were with...
the win, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were literally with the man who does the...
Data.
Thank you. The Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair, at Adam Wilson for shout out, as always, of course, to Jose Palomares at the Ho 11, who also does all the...
Data.
Thank you. But yes, the women's match opened. Point goes to Sidge. Thank you to Adam Blair, as always, for keeping track of that sort of thing. It was Mercedes... I haven't got the soundboard. Money. Money. Versus Athena in the semi-finals of the Owen Hart Cup, of course.
30 hours.
Yeah, been awake a long old time. This got the, as Sidge sort of predicted, the pre-match pop, didn't it? Everyone was buzzing to see this, understandably. A very sort of cagey affair early on, sort of trading of pin attempts, rolling cradles, that sort of thing. And then they just started beating the crap out of each other, basically. Monet came back with a tilt-whirl into a statement maker, but Athena rolled to the ropes, fell to the outside. Monet kept the submission on, so Aubrey tried to count them both out. Instead, Monet hung Athena up on the ropes with a Meteora, did her CEO dance, whilst Athena was just there dangling, missed another Meteora, allowing Athena to hit an O-face version on the apron, or off the apron, I should say. That took us to break. When we came back, again, they're battling back and forth. Athena wants a tombstone. They counter each other loads. Monet hits a lung blower for a double down there. The crowd are loving this, of course. Monet hit a version of a tornado DDT that was just wild in there. Tilt-a-whirl into another DDT that just spiked Athena on her head for a 2 count. She also hit the 3 Amigos, went for a 4th, but then Athena was like, 3 Amigos, more like 3 power bombs. Went for a 4th, and Monet countered into, been awake a long time, countered into a backstabber for a 2 count. Monet hit a crazy looking double knees that sent Athena to the apron. She wants a German suplex off the apron, but Athena kept hanging on no matter how she fought for it. In the end, Athena got free, hit a thrust kick, and a power slam on the edge of the ring. She couldn't believe that only got a 2 count. Athena also put a statement maker on Monet, but she escaped into one of her own. Athena tried for a powerbomb. Monet escaped, and that allowed Athena to hit the double knees right to her face. But Monet rolled to the floor. Athena was desperate for the pin there. She goes after her, but Monet sidestepped and sent her into the barricade that just went all fuzzy. She also missed a diving lariat, but then hit a shotgun drop kick. Go back inside. Athena wants the O-face, but Monet counters into a cradle to get the shock. 1, 2, 3. Post-match, understandably, the wonderful, timeless Toni Storm quite rightly gives these women their applause. What an amazing opener this was.
Just unbelievable stuff. We talked about how this Dynamite was an attempt, and rightfully so, by AEW to at least claim some of the conversation in wrestling this week when otherwise they would typically get none. This was more than that. This was telling Rhea Ripley, Io Sky and Bianca Belair in particular to top that.
Yeah.
This was, I think, maybe Maybe only just behind, actually, Timeless Sunny Storm and Mariah May for my favourite AEW match of the year. This wasn't just a perfect exploration of the obvious chemistry that these two were destined to exhibit, where Athena hits really hard and Mercedes bumps like a complete maniac. They did that everywhere. So like it was really good environmental stuff. As you pointed out, whenever there was a barrier or an apron to be used, they didn't just kind of like mess around and tease it. They like doubled down on the stuff they were teasing. They went for the spot that I typically hate, which is that teased German suplex. Yeah. They reversed it that many times that we found our way to that O-face where like Mercedes is selling the knee on the floor. The snap power slam on the apron. Jesus Christ, I thought she was dead. Like, honestly, this was everything I've wanted to see out of Athena on the AEW roster. You know, having been the Ring of Honor Forever champion for as long as she's been, it's all reputation until she's given the opportunity to prove it. But then because those opportunities are so sparing, it's like added pressure. She has to do double the work with half the opportunities. Nailed it time and time again, these two. Everything they brought, like, and you could feel the fans coming with it as well. There was this amazing swell. Again, we're in a very busy bar, a very loud atmosphere, and you're finding yourself like leaning laptop screen. Larry Rabb popped over at this point, and it was great to catch up with Larry, but he was like, we're having a nice bit of crack, and they were like, hey everybody, shut up, this is awesome. Like, it was kind of captivating all of us in spite of all the possible factors. I cannot heap enough praise on this. I'll tell you the truth, I cannot wait to get home and watch this again in more sort of normal surrounding circumstances, and I think we're going to get a chance to watch another version of this again because it feels like the start of the series, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The way the match finished with her sort of, I mean, grabbing a little bit of the tights in there, but countering the O-face into the surprise roll-up to get the 1-2-3. I could see this match 5 more times easily, no problem whatsoever. After that, we go backstage with Renee Paquette. She's there with Hangman Adam Page, asking about how he's prepared for this this match against a wild card in the Owen Hart Cup. And in walks the Bucks and Kazuchika Okada, and they bring up Page walking out on blood and guts last year, but they're forgiving him. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nicholas said part of a Hail Mary, but then said Page looks good, and he must be happy that they cost Swerve the world title. And the Bucks are convinced that they can fix the issue with the Death Riders. They're crazy, they said, but we can take care of that business. You just make sure you win the Owen Hart Cup. And they leave, and Kazuchika Okada has a little word with Hangman Page saying, hey, why are you so bloody grumpy all the time? Give us a smile. Hangman Page just goes to walk off, and Okada hits him with the...
Bitch.
What you say, huh? Yeah. And good stuff.
This was good stuff, and it was better by the end of the main event as well.
Yes.
Like, this was quite lightweight, Young Bucks back with Hangman Page and that, but I've got nice things to say about the Death Riders and the Ops, and it's because of this. So
stick around.
Fair play to them.
But then we saw the newest All Elite member, that being Stan Lee Cup, because there was some bloke from the Bruins there or something with him.
30 hours. 30 hours.
With the whole of them spent with me as well.
He lost his headphone on a plane 28 hours ago.
I got it back.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good stuff.
So, who was the wild card against Hangman Page in the Owen Hart Cup? It was the newest AEW roster member, that being Josh Alexander.
Walking weapon.
We discussed this at the time. Calling someone a walking weapon in Britain is a bit of an insult, but he wears it with pride.
Well, yeah, we get this screamed at us when we walked through Gateshead Interchange, but, you know, Josh Alexander can pull that off. Yeah.
But, yeah, a great addition to the AEW roster. Me and Andy talked a load about it on the news as well. Alexander, no messing about here. A stun gun on the apron. But Page comes back, hangs him up on the barricade, and Page dived off the stage with a huge lariat to take us into a break. That was an amazing spot. When we come back, Alexander's in control, though. Bridging German suplex. He tries for another, but Page lands on his feet and hits a discus lariat for the double down. They go to the apron. Page wants a dead eye. Alexander tries for a pile driver, but Page hit a backdrop onto the edge of the ring. Ouch. He also hit an amazing moonsault to the floor. Head back inside, hit a Liger bomb for a near fall there. Alexander comes back. He kept trying for the ankle lock, and he got it here, but Page escaped and connected on a tombstone for a 2 count. He wanted the book shot, but Alexander rolled to the opposing apron, avoided a charge, hit a slam to the edge, and a sprinting crossbody to the back for a nice sequence there. They go back in the ring. Alexander wants a powerbomb, but Page escapes and suddenly cradles Alexander for the 1-2-3 and the win. You want to talk match, and then we'll talk post-match?
Fold it all in, if that's
okay.
Right. Yeah.
So post-match, out comes Cole Fletcher and Don Callis, who, of course, will be Hangman Page's opponents. Well, not both of them. Carl Fletcher will be his opponent in the semi-final. And Page doesn't want to face off. He just wants to keep fighting people. He does get into it, I should say, with Kyle Fletcher. Beats him up. He bails, but Callis whispers something in Josh Alexander's ear. He is seemingly the newest member of the family because he immediately jumps Hangman Adam Page, hits him with a powerbomb. Fletcher and Callis are loving seeing this. Fletcher also hit him with a brainbuster to stand tall. And yeah, Alexander, a new member of the Don Callis family to boot.
It would seem that way, and that's got to be seen as something that's a surprise, right? Like, we talked about the possibility of Josh Alexander coming in and being a wild card and getting beaten by Hangman Page, and how you book him in the aftermath of that, and this felt perfect as a result. He did walk off, and he left Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis to celebrate, but he did the damage first. So if he's not joined this week, you sense that he will join in weeks to come, or at very least, he'll be a heel.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done here. You've been able to explore Alexander's wrestling ability as an ostensible babyface, and now you get to have him work as a heel, so none of the momentum has been lost.
Yeah.
He basically gets this match, loses, gets a restart already.
Reset, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just as dangerous as he was coming in the first week. So great booking of Josh Alexander, because you've been able to give him... Hangman Page has got chemistry with just about everybody. This was really hard hitting. This was technical when it needed to be, but it did show Josh Alexander's grit. I know it's a dirty word now, but it did show his grit and his courage and his determination before you're going to make him a bad guy, and you're going to start helping him, like making him cheat and helping the other bad guys and things like that. This was just, like, I enjoyed this match, but I enjoyed the post-match, and it made the match better because now you've already explored what Josh Alexander can do, not just once as a babyface, but again when you turn him down the line. He was such a heartfelt, like heart and sleeve babyface in TNA that now they can kind of put that in the back pocket for the day that he eventually turns on the Callis family or turns on another heel. And to like sort of add to that, you've added some heat. You've like thrown some more heat on Kyle Fletcher and Hangman Page too. Yeah. Like Kyle Fletcher, as we say, every week he like grows a new muscle, like on his arms or his back or his pecs or whatever. And the next muscle he needs to grow is a heart 12 times the size so that he can beat Hangman Page. And he's done the damage this week to try and do that. AEW, I'm telling you, and it's a weird thing to say while we're surrounded by WrestleMania stuff, like, I think they might be properly back. There was loads of evidence of that on this Dynamite.
Yeah, vast improvement on what we've seen. But not last week. Was it the week before? Or was it last week? Yeah, really enjoyable show, this. We go backstage. There's Nick Wayne with Kip Sabian, and Nick Wayne's mom who's got it going on. And he's talking about the father being gone, but he's cut off by a returning Christian Cage, who says, "Daddy's home." He says it's been quite a few weeks for you, Nick. But he asked him what he wants to say to his face, and Nick said that Cage didn't stick to the Planet Revolution because he wouldn't have been able to live with himself if Cope had become AEW World Champion. Cage said that's a strong assumption, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Good stuff.
And but he was impressed with what Nick had done whilst he was gone, and he was the one, Cage this is, responsible for Nick Wayne being in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament this summer, and to get prepared for that, he's got a ROH TV title match against Commander on Collision tomorrow night. And Cage was very proud of him, slapped Nick in the face, walked off, and then called for Nick Wayne's mom, who still had it going on, to come with her as Nick Wayne was left all alone because that's how he's going to fight tomorrow night.
A necessary beat, this, I would say. Cope being mentioned is the exciting bit here. Nick Wayne's great, he's in the Super Juniors and stuff, but ultimately this is about bringing Cope back into the conversation because we want to think about Cope and Christian finding their way back together against FTR, so this is nice.
He also said, make your father proud, because he's a twat.
That's what he
there was footage of FTR on Collision. Really good Collision. Check out the Collision review, by the way, if you get a chance. Really enjoyed that. And them trying to kill Tony Schiavone, eventually killing 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, of course. And an update on that, Tony Schiavone informed us that FTR have been suspended for a week and fined, quite rightly.
Yeah, he's that's going to have to be Dax, like, taking more people out for dinner, isn't it? After he was, like, paying the referees meals and gifts. About, I'm sorry.
Cash it this week.
Yeah, not this week. Yeah, cash check next week. Yeah.
We move on to the tag title match. It was the Gates of Agony challenging the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. And, well, the Gates of Agony knew they were going to be up against it. That's why Toa Leona rushed them at the bell, beat them up. There's a locomotion corner charges from the two of them. There's a slingshot dive on Lashley. Benjamin gets covered for a near fall. Corn gets clotheslined to the outside. Benjamin sends him back and forth into the barricade and the apron as we go to a break. When we come back, Leona drops Benjamin with a huge Samoan drop, and a running senton gets a near fall. Lashley breaks that up. Leona gets his head driven into the corner turnbuckle and obviously just no sells it whatsoever. He sends Lashley back with a huge lariat, but Lashley dodges one and puts in the hurt lock. Bishop Corn has to break that one up. Lashley gets sent into the barricade. Corn hit Benjamin with a shotgun drop kick, but he runs into a thrust kick. Benjamin hits a series of release German suplexes. He always looks so good doing those. Low bridges Leona, who lands on his feet. He tries to trash talk Benjamin and doesn't see Bobby Lashley coming, who cuts him in half with a spear. And back inside, Benjamin hit a corner step-up knee on Khan, and another spear from Bobby Lashley gives the Hurt Syndicate the 1-2-3.
Yeah, this is where I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to alienate people, because it is coming across online as if it was a perfect Dynamite. And I didn't like this very much. I've been made a liar in this match, Wilbourn, because I've been telling people down that lens, on this microphone, in that ring, that anything's possible in the pyramid, but apparently it's still not possible to get just a deadly squash by the Hurt Syndicate. I just really wanted to see this be the week that they decimate like they were when they first arrived. It just got a bit saggy and a bit baggy in the middle. Like, I don't know, the Gates of Agony are fine, but I'm kind of sick of seeing the Hurt Syndicate sell. I loved what we got next. I love the storyline development with the Hurt Syndicate. I know you're so excited to recap it separate from the match. I would have just cut the bulk of this out and had them decimate. I understand that, like, the Gates of Agony have finally got the shot and all that. Yeah. Line them up some teams that they can just crush.
Yeah, I mean, they've been bigging up, obviously, Gates of Agony. They talked about this on Collision, that they had this undefeated streak in Ring of Honor, which would arguably have made what you said there even more impressive if they just got immediately destroyed by the Hurt Syndicate. And what with MJF trying to pitch to be a part of the group, even more ridiculous afterwards, because he came down to the ring and the fans are loving him, but he's like, hey, guys, give it up for the Hurt Syndicate as well. They're pretty good too. And he compliments MVP, compliments Shelton Benjamin. You look great. You know what I'm all about here. But naming no names, some other people are a little slow learners. Bobby Lashley tries to kill him at this point. And I didn't say any names. I didn't say your name, Bob. He has to be held back by MVP. But MJF said, look, it's not just my talent that you could be getting. It's some talent in the back. And MVP's like, get to the point. And so MJF says, let's bring him out. And he brings out 7 lovely ladies who come out and towel down particularly Shelton Benjamin and like rub Bobby Lashley's abs or whatever. And all he wants in return for these lovely ladies is 3 thumbs up. Obviously, MVP could not put his thumb up quicker. MJF, by the way, just kicked his feet up in the corner like Eddie Guerrero for this, which looked great.
Such a lovely reveal. You'd be allowed to forget he was there for a bit.
Benjamin has forgotten about the thumbs up, but he's been distracted by these lovely ladies. Said he might need a little bit more time, but he's a fan of very nice things, and he might need a little bit more time. He wants MJF's watch, and MJF says, I'll give you my watch. Just give me a thumbs up. And Shelton Benjamin teases it, doesn't he? But in the end, after a glare from Bobby Lashley, thumbs down again from him. MJF, the mask slips again slightly. You are your damn democracy. Democracy. I bloody love democracy, me. That's fair enough. Look, Shelton, I'm a fan of yours. I'll still give you my watch. I'll still give you these lovely ladies for the evening. And when I join the Hurt Syndicate, there will be more watches and more lovely ladies. Where that came from. And then he tells Bob, hey, Bob, yeah, you're the almighty. Fair play. Good for you. Huh? But I'm kind of known for getting what I want. You're known for being the almighty. I'm kind of known for getting what I want. I'm Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And I'm better than you, Bob. And you know it. Ooh, he's going to die, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe. He did hold the microphone to the crowd like that. And they finished his catchphrase. He was too good at being a little bastard, MJF, as he often is, to be fair. This popped the room. Like the reveal of MJF lying across the ropes when you've been watching the... can you describe the collection of women again? Sorry?
It was 7 lovely ladies.
Caressing Shelton Benjamin. Well, MVP was also like, what we got going on over there? And Bobby Lashley...
I did commentary, so I should get something.
Bobby Lashley, was he no-selling it, or is his body at this point so thick with muscle that he can't feel the touch of another human until they get right through? Amazing stuff. Really funny physical commentary. Comedy, sorry. The handing him of the watch after he's still giving it to the... You have a watch. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, the mask slipping. It's fine. I get it, if anything.
Best week to week.
I'll see you next week. I'm loving it. I still don't know how and when MJF either snaps. We have now seen the Twitter sleuths are putting together both MJF and FTR using the word pinnacle, as MJF is presumably going to need numbers against the Hurt Syndicate, or if Shelton, like every week, will go from like, and then finally it'll just stay there. Yeah. And the thumb thing was obvious the other week they were going to start teasing out. Great stuff.
Bobby Lashley's going to break Shelton Benjamin's thumb when he does that. Bobby Lashley is a long way from being convinced, let's say. But we go backstage immediately following this, and there is... oh, God, sorry. It's because I'm, being in America, my notes are a bit all over the place here. Alicia, I've just written Alicia here. I should give her a full name. Alicia, bless you. She's waiting for the Hurt Syndicate, saying MJF is very persistent. And MVP says, excuse me, lovely lady, do some business. And he says, look, I know MJF can be annoying, but business-wise, we could use him to get what we want. Ease up a bit, he says to Bobby Lashley. The moment MJF gets out of line, we'll hurt him. And that sort of appeases Bobby Lashley, and they go off to celebrate, accompanied by the lovely Lurdos.
We'll keep them. We'll still keep the lovely Lurdos.
Yeah. Following that...
Really good stuff.
Following that was Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, the semi-finals of the Owen Hart Cup. Good little match. Moving past that... No, this was absolutely sensational. I saw Sean Ross Sapp tweeting, this might be one of the best Dynamite matches ever, and it's kind of hard to disagree with him. This was, like, it started off, I think you'd gone to the loo or something, and you came back, and you're like, oh, what have I missed? And I was like, quite good sort of back and forth, but nothing. So go on.
I'd gone to buy this because I was getting really, really tired.
And that would help, because how much of your daily sugar's in that?
Oh, well, this is the diet one, so there's only 1%, but I did have a full fat one earlier on that had 154% of my daily sugar. So I was taking care of it early doors.
Good idea.
You want to get it done ideally before tea time.
So, yeah, you come back, and I was like, it's kind of slow going early on, but that made a lot of sense when they came back from the break and just went insane, basically. By the way, I say they were going, taking it easy early on. They go to the break with Takeshita basically hitting an F5.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But anyway, we come back. Ospreay tries to fire up, but Takeshita hits him with multiple exploders for near falls. Ospreay cuts him off in the ropes. Takeshita wants an avalanche raging fire, but Ospreay counters into a huge Stundog Millionaire and hits an Oz cutter on the ramp. Understandably, they both took their time getting back inside after that, just breaking the count. Ospreay hits a springboard dropkick and a leap of faith to get another 2 count. Tries to go for another Oz cutter, but Takeshita counters into a blue thunder bomb. But then Ospreay counters that, spins out into an Oz cutter for a nice sequence there. He tries for the Stormbreaker, but Takeshita gets out of that. They trade some pins. Takeshita hit a wheelbarrow into a bridging German suplex. The crowd are on their feet at this point, and I've still got about 3 paragraphs to go here. There's a forearm exchange. I think it's fair to say Takeshita won that one. Yeah. Ospreay's jaw was about 6 inches to the left once he'd finished with him. But once he recovers, he slumps to the floor at one point. He fires back with kicks, but then Takeshita just takes his head off again with another huge forearm. Hits Raging Fire. Ospreay hits some hook kicks. Takeshita collapses after that, so he can't hit the Hidden Blade. But waiting for that has allowed Takeshita to recover, and he hits a Blue Thunder Bomb for a great 2 count. I thought that might have been the finish for a split second. Yeah. He hit Ospreay with a clothesline so hard, he flips and lands back on his feet, does Ospreay. Ospreay goes, just hit another Oz cutter. But he gets hit with a huge forearm as he's flying in for it. Ospreay kicks out a 1, hits a Hidden Blade. Takeshita kicks out a 1. They both hit clotheslines and drop down. Ospreay collapses. Takeshita wants Stormbreaker, but Ospreay counters into a bastard driver and a wheelbarrow German, but Takeshita popped up and hit a Hidden Blade. It's not even the finish. They both break the count at 9 because they've just, taken out of it here. Takeshita basically hit a haluva kick, went up top. Ospreay cut him off, hits him with a headbutt. He wants a Spanish fly, but there's an avalanche Takeshita line in there from Konosuke. Ospreay lands on his feet, hit another Hidden Blade. Again, Takeshita kicked out. He goes for another. Takeshita hit a boot, wanted the Raging Fire, but Ospreay countered into a Styles Clash. Again, Takeshita kicked out. A backslide goes into the power drive knee from Takeshita, who runs it in, but Ospreay floats through into a Stormbreaker to get the 1-2-3 and advance to the final. What a match this was.
Need I say more? It just worked. I'll try and say some more, but I'll tell you what, it won't be as good as our esteemed colleague Michael Sidgwick, who I have a feeling, because he did say he was going to tweet along with this in the absence of him being on this review, and I know he'll have a lot of thoughts about this, so check his Twitter account, @msidgwick.
I liked it.
I think he will have bloody loved it, and he'd be mad not to. I am running out of superlatives to describe the feeling of running out of superlatives talking about Will Ospreay. Like, and to be fair to Takeshita as well, there is something else about their chemistry, their physical chemistry.
I think we had a video recap of their last fight before this, and I was like, if we're in for anything like that.
Yeah, like, are the gang doing Cirque du Soleil or whatever in Vegas, like not worried when they watch this? Because, like, they're doing what they do in the middle of a match while trying to take each other's heads off with brutal clotheslines and just anything that drops them head first and neck first. The one counts here, where, again, we talk about this quite a lot. You've got to earn those. It's something that has been, like, bastardized slightly and overused. And Ospreay, as amazing as he is in terms of, like, elevating the stakes, can be guilty of this sometimes. Pay-per-view quality stuff. Drop what you're doing and go and watch it. This is one of them sort of matches. And look, on a personal level, I genuinely think I just preferred Athena and Mercedes Moné. Like, I think the bracket and the women's division is just a little bit more exciting and a bit more enticing about who's going to have that Toni Storm match.
Less predictable.
Yeah, and Athena and Moné feel like they're building something, and Ospreay and Takeshita at this point feel like they're paying tribute to themselves. You know, they have these kind of matches at this point, and, like, they're not mirror images, but it's like, we can do anything to each other. There are no rules at this point. We defy time and space and gravity. You know what I mean? These two were in space longer than Katy Perry in this match, certainly up in the air longer. An unbelievable must-see, like, instant Ospreay Takeshita television classic. Honestly, go out of your way to watch it. This and the opener, they've really put, like, every WrestleMania wrestler under significant pressure to try and, like, claim match of the week. And I don't know, man. I'm not sure. Like Jey Uso might stand a chance, but other than that, like, if he can get something good out of Gunther, but other than that, like, I don't know if anything can top the quality of the in-ring we got here. And look, we haven't really talked about the WCW thing.
Yeah.
This was the week that Dynamite was celebrating, toasting, becoming their longest running show on Turner Network television ever. You know, they're the biggest mainstream number 2 ever. They just can't be flushed. But it's with stuff like this. If nothing else, they will always have the matches like this. And this is absolutely the sort of match that AEW should hang their hat on.
Yeah, and I'm glad you were talking about it and saying there's not been many references. I'm glad they didn't lean too hard on that. Just showcase what you've got. Yeah, showcase your show, main event of the evening, but don't worry, the Death Riders are actually bearable in this one.
What the hell was this?
It was the World AEW Trios Championships on the line. It was the Death Riders being represented, of course, with Pac's injury, and get well soon to him, of course. John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on the Ops, but we missed this. I subsequently have discovered this, that Hook was attacked by the Death Riders prior to the show to take him out of the match. I hope he's all right, because there was all that stuff with the concussion and being sick and stuff last week. I hope he's okay. But it was Samoa Joe, Kazuchika Shibata, and the newest member of the Ops, I suppose, Powerhouse Hobbs, a brilliant replacement in terms of someone who, A, is awesome, and B, obviously has a great deal of history with Mox and the Death Riders. Ops and Hobbs attack straight away. Yuta just gets destroyed by splashes by Hobb in the corner. Moxley tried to attack from behind. Hobbs saw him coming, and Moxley ran away. In the end, though, with a bit of a distraction, the Death Riders managed to take over Yuta, surprise, surprise, with an attack from behind. And Claudio takes control as we go into a break. When we come back, Hobbs tries to save his partner from an attack at ringside when things come back, but was chop blocked by Marina Shafir, who pretends, I didn't do anything, when the cameras spot her. Eventually, though, Samoa Joe gets the hot tag. He batters Wheeler Yuta with a power slam. Moxley breaks up the count and grabs a chair from under the ring. We're like, oh no, here we go. But before he can climb into the ring with that chair, it is snatched away from him on the ramp by the brilliant Willow Nightingale.
Gives him a couple of them as well.
Flips him off. Moxley walks into a big boot from Joe, and then they all hit big moves. Yuta hit a shotgun dropkick. Shibata takes him out. Claudio hit a pop-up uppercut on Shibata. Hobbs hit a spine buster. Moxley comes in with a dropkick. Joe hit a cutter. Everyone's down, basically. And then the Young Bucks walk out. What are they doing? But before they can get involved, here comes Swerve Strickland to dropkick both of them, jumping off the barricade and chuck them into the crowd and what have you, and just get rid of them and, well, set up Anarchy in the arena, probably. Yeah. Back inside, Moxley runs into an STO from Joe. Claudio and Shibata brawl on the ramp, and Shibata gets a rear naked choke on him. Stops doing that after he's choked pretty much the life out of him, taking with a huge PK. Joe tries for a muscle buster on Mox, but surprise, surprise, Wheeler Yuta breaks it up. Of course he does. He tried to dive on Hobbs, who just caught him and smashed him into the table, which didn't break. It was awesome. Shafir hits him in the back with a chair. She gets attacked by Willow, of course, for her troubles there. Moxley tries for the Death Rider on Joe, who spins round. Coquina clutch. Mox passes out. We have new AEW Trios champions. And to close out the show, we see Swerve smiling about this and Prince Nana celebrating in the ring with bottles of champagne. Loads of people come down to celebrate. Ishii, Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, AR Fox, the Dark Order. Everyone is just chuffed that the Death Riders have lost one of their titles.
Yeah, slight pedantic criticism because otherwise I'm full of praise for all of this. One perfect choice of a night to do a celebratory, we finally gotten over the Death Riders, AEW fighting back, all that sort of thing. This was the night to do it. Because as soon as you see the ring gathering, you realise people are sharing a beer. It's basically a curtain call to celebrate AEW, the very existence of AEW. And right when John Moxley formed the Death Riders, the idea was, sucks here now. And for one night, in kayfabe, it actually made sense of the story. Doesn't suck. It's been around longer than WCW Nitro was, and it's the best. And like that, this was the perfect time to do that. Doesn't justify the heat, but they did get the timing of this particular result right. See, guys, John Moxley loses our bloody time. He didn't even have the belt. It wasn't even his belt to lose, and he lost clean. He said, I don't know what people complain about. So, yeah, that aside, I thought they absolutely nailed this. Coming back off the commercial break, there was a genuine swell because the audience seemed to believe that for once the fix wasn't in with the Death Riders. They'd purposely sort of shaped the first half of this match to let you know that the Ops, 1-for-1 could do it. So already the audience like, tonight's the night, and it's the main event, and there's a nice vibe in the air. So the fans are believing.
Awesome venue, by the way.
Fantastic yet again. As provided, of course, by our good friends at MGM.
For a wicked pisser.
For a wicked pisser in Boise. Beantown. Sid would love that too. Buddy loves his beans. The match, obviously, at the point at which it starts breaking down, and then the Young Bucks come out, and then Swerve's there to stop the Young Bucks. It's kind of degenerated, but in a good way, into one of those Attitude Era main event / AEW party match. It's like a nice hybrid of the two. And it's featuring the Death Rider. It's like, I'm not conditioned to having fun when these are out here. So your mindset's completely changed. It's really got people on the hook. Again, people are still wanting to believe the babyface can get it done. So then as a fan on TV, and I don't know if this was the case in the building, obviously, then you start watching, where's Yuta? Hobbs got Yuta, because Shibata's got Cesaro, got Claudio, and you start picking people off until you're down to just that moment where it's Moxley and Joe, and that last Yuta cut-off, that's the first point you're like, you fucking bastards, you're going to do it again! So the fact that they were able to give you that cut-off and then still give the happy ending, proper victory for the agent and the production in the match. It was really earnestly great to see the Death Riders showing proper ass for a change. Clown ass! Showing a bit of clown ass as the heels that they are.
I do it all in this for the world title.
Just go bells and whistles, million run-ins, all you need, but the man is finally beaten. The celebration, the party match for the party atmosphere. Honestly, a total over-delivery and a triumph. I wouldn't exactly call myself an ops guy. I like the Powerhouse Hobbs variant of it straight away. But they genuinely felt, in the context of the celebratory Dynamite, like heroes worth putting on your shoulders to try and save the day. Nailed this. We were pretty cynical going into this one, safe to say. Absolutely nailed it. Brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic end to a brilliant episode of AEW Dynamite. Would love to know your thoughts on it. As Hamflett mentioned, check out @MSidgwick on Twitter for all of his thoughts on it. They'll be far better than what we've said here. And make sure you let us know your thoughts, as I said, in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can continue the conversation with us on X. You can follow us at WhatCulture WWE. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow our brilliant producer, Adam Nicholas, at
It's Adam Nicholas.
Yeah, see. And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts from Las Vegas. We've made it.
We've made it.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon.